Good afternoon, Rangers. As always, we are in touch. Today we will discuss an interesting topic, especially for beginners. If you are already here, then you have probably already become familiar with the program IntelliJ IDEA. And you would agree that everyone wants to save time. And you surely have other things to do besides writing code. That's why today we will look at the most useful shortcuts. First of all, they can be divided into several groups. These are templates, navigation, execution compilation, debugging, search, replace, editing, refactoring, and a general set. In fact, there are a lot of commands. We won't cover all of them, as it's clear that this video would be too long and most likely you simply don't need all of them. Most of the time you won't use them, or you can customize them as you wish, and later they will not be stock settings but rather your own handwritten ones. To view the commands that are stock and built into IntelliJ IDEA, you need to type Ctrl-Alt-S on your keyboard. Here, we immediately open Kmap, revealing each menu item, and you can find the hotkeys. There are many of them, you see. We have only opened one section. In fact, there are a lot of them. I would change this right away, because for many, this is inactive by default. But I think you will encounter this later. You will be communicating there on Zoom or in some other messengers, and when you show your code, it is displayed well on your screen. But for others, let's say it appears small. Once we set this up, we can use Ctrl plus the mouse wheel to zoom in and out as needed, to you or those who are watching your screen. So let's go to the settings menu, using Ctrl-Alt-S. Here we go to the very first item and look for increase font size. Here it is, increase font size. If you want to see, I have Ctrl and wheel up set, which means using the scroll wheel. You can change and customize it. That is, you can delete what you have and just add your own. So, let's start with the most common usage. This is when you need to find something and replace it. Let's say if we are talking about search and replace within a single class, a single file of a single class. It's naturally Ctrl-F. A window opens at the top where you type what you want to find. Let's take the word order. It shows where this word appears if something needs to be replaced. Replace with Ctrl-R, which means that it immediately opens what you are finding and what you want to replace it with. But I remind you that this only works within a single class. If you need to find something across the entire project, the magic button is Shift-Shift. You simply press Shift twice and everything you search for will be searched throughout your entire project. Here you can find everything completely. Classes, files, symbols, actions, text, and so on. But here you will only find it and it will show you in which files it occurs. Let's say we encounter order, and it immediately references the class where it found it. Is that useful? I think it is. Next, it doesn't happen often, but sometimes you need to change several lines at once. Let's say in our case it's private final. Suppose I don't know why, but I want it to be just private instead of final. I can simply put the word final at the end. We press Alt-J. We highlight the text, then press further, and all similar words are highlighted. Now I can either delete all of them at once or leave them as they are, or write something else instead. This is rarely needed, but sometimes it can significantly speed up your work. Let's open any file. For example, we need to change this username to name wherever it appears later on. We want to replace it with just name, for instance. We simply press Shift F6 and it easily offers you rename all. And right now I will change everything here. I had the word username throughout the entire project, specifically username. Let's say you might have had first username in this project. No, it will only change where username was. We simply write a new name. Pressing enter, that's it, and pressing enter, that's it. I think you all already know about the combination Ctrl-C and Ctrl-V for copy and paste. Perhaps someone has forgotten about Ctrl-Z. That is the undo action. So, you deleted something there intensively. Pressing Ctrl-Z on the keyboard, everything returned to its place. Not only this action will be reverted, but everything you changed in this file will be reverted within this file. Let's say we change something here, change something there, and change something else here. And we thought that we did something, or the code got messed up on your keyboard, and you need to revert everything back. We press Ctrl-Z and all changes are reverted. Sometimes we need to make a duplicate of a line. Let's say you have very similar logic and you just need to make a copy of that same line. Ctrl-D. You clicked and you got the same line. Let's move on. This is more related to the editing section. You have long method names used in your code. You don't always want to type out the full name, for example. Writing out show order by user ID can be tedious. However, IntelliJ IDEA is a smart tool, and to quickly write the name of a method, we can use capital letters. So, taking show order by user ID as an example, we will have the capital letters S, O, B, U, and I. We just write S and O, and there it is. I found it, show users BID. That's it. We don't need to write the full name of the method. There are situations when you write code, order mapper to entity. In the end, I need to return an order of type order, but the name is not important. You need to do this. Somehow, you feel too lazy to declare the variable type and the variable name immediately. You can simply write order mapper to entity and then just press Alt, Enter, Enter at the end. He knows himself that it will be order, and you just have to come up with a name yourself. We had an order, we will return the order, we press Enter, and a semicolon is automatically placed at the end, and the name is assigned. Let's move on. You need to select the entire class with Ctrl-A. This will select everything completely. You can also select not the whole file, but in blocks using Ctrl-W. The selection spreads out and highlights in blocks. That is, if you notice, we placed it inside, and here we have an error throw. We placed the cursor, and it highlighted our line. The block he was in, the if-else block, together with the if statement, actually everything that was inside. Comments. Single line comments are, of course, done with Control and the right slash. But if you need to comment out multiple lines of code, like an entire method, right? You can do this again using Control slash, but multi-line commenting is more appropriately done using Control Shift and slash. This is how it should look when you have multi-line commenting. Now about indentation. Everyone knows that we have tabby. These are 4 spaces, but for some reason many forget about the back tab, so to speak. This is when you hold down the Shift key and then press tab again, and it moves back. Let's move on. Deleting a line. You've written everything, and you don't need this line. Of course, you can highlight and delete all of this, but if you are already on this line, we press Shift and delete. It's very easy to delete an entire line to override methods from the parent class. There is a wonderful shortcut, Ctrl-O. Since this class has a parent object, we can override hashcode, equals, and toString. For example, if we want to override toString, let's move on. IntelliJ can actually assist you a lot while writing code. Let's say we have something here. In theory, this is a single line expression, and we can write it without parentheses. You press Alt-Enter, this is a code, editing suggestion. He suggests that we can improve this by removing the if statement. They removed the parentheses for us. I like it this way more. It's easier to read. You are writing code, and I will note that you will need to iterate with a for loop somewhere. Here we have list order and order details. Let's say I need to iterate through the list here. I select this order list, type for, press enter, and it has already written this for each for me. We could have written it again. If we want its for each, we could for. We can choose for I, and it will write all of this for you. Very convenient. You can also, if you have a lot of shortcuts, write .sout at the end. I use this often because when coding, I need to output something to the console to see what is coming in, what is not, and how it changes. That's why I wrote the variable name followed by .sout. You can create an sout format to simply take a look. Perfect for sout. There is an option to place a code snippet in a block for working with the order. We select it, press Ctrl-Alt-T, and we can immediately wrap it in if else, while, and so on. Now a bit about improving. The code should be written beautifully and neatly because it is easier to read, and it will be easier for you to find any errors later on, especially when your code is being reviewed for readability. How do you align the code nicely? We press Ctrl-Alt-L and U. It is aligned according to the formatting rules. There are cases when you have unused imports. To avoid looking here every time, press Ctrl-Alt-O. When you press Ctrl-Alt-O, the unnecessary imports will be removed. You pressed Ctrl-Alt-L, and your code is aligned according to the formatting rules. Sometimes your code grows, a certain method expands, and it would be a good idea to consider extracting a portion of the code into a separate method. You select this code, press Ctrl-Alt-M, and it suggests that this will be a private method that returns order, and will be named getOrder. It has already moved it down for you, and you can change the name. In the end, you will have a private method added, fully with the same logic. If you are satisfied with the name, you simply press enter, and that's it. Your code is quickly extracted from the main method to a separate one. A bit about navigation. Take a look at the history of all changes. This is done with Ctrl-E. Everything you changed. All the classes. Access them. If you were working in the 3-tab view, it will always be at the top. You are working in this one. We were in this one. Convenient navigation. Add something here. Something here. Well, the example is very rough, but now you will see why this. We press Ctrl, Shift and Backspace, like deleting. And you see, it takes us to the places where we changed something. It will go through all the files where you made changes. Navigation within the class by methods. You can scroll, because we positioned ourselves on one method, pressed Alt, the down arrow, and move to the next method. Again, if you have both hands on the keyboard, it's very convenient for navigation within a single class. Another handy feature for navigating through methods in the class. We are interested in the methods that are in this class. We click on any method, press Alt Home, and it shows us all the methods that are inside this class. Navigation within a package from the new folder. We are standing in an empty space, press Alt Home, and here we have all the classes that are in this folder Impl. How can I easily switch between tabs? Ctrl Tab. I have, for example, Order. It's all very simple and easy. Feel free to use it. If you have any comments or suggestions, please leave them in the comments. Thank you for your attention. Subscribe to the channel.